What's up, me? So this is something I've been wanting to do for a while, running my video entries through Gemini to get a AI summary of my journal entries. So this is pretty masturbatory. This is all about me. It's mostly out of boredom and to see, if I can get any insights through this AI. I mean, why not? So I understand if nobody wants to watch this because this is pretty self-indulgent stuff right here.
Turning 40 on December 2nd wasn't the milestone I hoped for. It was a mirror held up to a life in ruins. I've spent years turning my supporters into enemies, fueled by a hair-trigger temper and a history of hot air that's landed me in prison and rehab. I finally looked into borderline personality disorder and saw myself in every symptom. The lack of boundaries, the lashing out, the wreckage. I'm tired of the cycle. I just want to disappear, get a job, and learn how to be kind.
Okay, and just real quick, I never went to prison. I've been to jail a couple times. That was a misinterpretation by the AI.
By December 4th, I was 3 days off the vodka. I've realized that while I can handle a beer, hard liquor turns me into a monster who sabotages everything. I'm broke, behind on rent, and I don't even have a valid ID to get a job. I'm stubborn. At one point, I thought I'd rather be homeless than beholden to anyone. But I know that's just my pride talking. I need to stop biting the hand that feeds me. But then came December 5th, day 0. I fell back into the vodka. I know I'm giving my critics ammo by filming this, but this is the reality of addiction. I've been to war twice, jail twice, and rehab twice, yet I'm still losing this battle. I sat in an apartment my brother Jeff pays for while talking trash about him, fueled by a dumb envy over his success in our military service. I feel like I have nothing left to lose, and while I'm not suicidal, I'm exhausted by the fight. By December 6th, I crawled back to day 1. My plan now is a middle ground, staying away from the hard stuff by sticking to a wine box and beer. It's the only way I can stay grounded enough to keep the mystical allure of a total relapse at bay. I'm indigent and stuck, but I'm choosing to be grateful that I still have a roof over my head by the grace of my family. Finally, on December 7th, I had to face the truth. I am drowning in grief for my father. He wasn't just my dad. He was my roommate in my life since 2017. Since he passed in September, the world has felt empty. I realize now that I used drugs and liquor to create a false sense of security while he was dying. I've projected that pain onto my brothers, but I know my father wouldn't want me to live like this. It's incredibly hard, but I have to try to move on.
And then here's the bullet point summary, because why not? Might learn something.
This series of vlogs documents a turbulent week in the life of Joe, a 40-year-old veteran grappling with the recent death of his father, chronic addiction, and fractured family dynamics. Below is a summary of his journey from December 2nd to December 7th. The cycle of addiction. Joe's week is defined by a day 0 relapse. He begins the week with a resolve to quit vodka, identifying it as the catalyst for his wilding out and self-sabotage. By December 5th, he admits to relapsing, providing a raw look at the exhaustion of recovery. His strategy involves a controversial harm reduction approach, avoiding hard liquor while consuming beer and wine to stave off the mystical pull of total sobriety that he feels leads him back to the liquor store. Interpersonal turmoil and resentment. A significant portion of Joe's distress stems from a power play dynamic with his brothers. Financial dependence. Joe is currently unemployed, lacks a valid ID, and is indigent. His brother Jeff pays his rent. Resentment. Despite the help, Joe harbors deep bitterness toward Jeff. He claims he paved the way for Jeff's military success, and feels Jeff uses his financial status to act superior. Accountability. In moments of clarity, Joe admits he bites the hand that feeds him, and acknowledges that his jealousy and talking shit are irrational and dumb. Mental health and grief. Diagnosis. Joe notes that his lack of boundaries and lashing out align with borderline personality disorder, BPD, a realization he finds jarring. The loss of his father. The root of Joe's current spiral appears to be the death of his father in September 2025. Having been his father's primary caregiver since 2017, Joe describes a profound sense of emptiness, admitting he used meth and alcohol to numb the pain of his father's terminal illness. The path forward. By the end of the week, Joe's tone shifts from defensive and intoxicated to somber and reflective. He acknowledges that his father would want him to move on and expresses a simple, human desire for peace. While he remains in a precarious state, facing potential homelessness and legal hurdles regarding his identification, he ends the week resolved to stop his emotional melting and honor his father's memory by seeking self-restraint.
And so that's it. So that's my first entry. I find this extremely fascinating because All I have to do is drop the link to my YouTube video in Gemini, and within seconds it comes back with a summary of what I said in that video. So if my video is 15 minutes, the AI just goes through it in like a few seconds and spits out like a 500, 600 word long summary. So I'm just thinking maybe I can glean some insights out of this. So that's why I'm doing it.